All right, so I get it. Feel like we're at a time where we are purging ourselves of anything and everything toxic.
2020 has been a crazy year to say the least. We started with fears that a World War III may be closer than we think, and quickly had our lives turned upside down when the pandemic swept the world, stopping tens of millions from working and unfortunately taking the lives of over 500,000 at the time of this recording. Now thankfully it seems the world is finally starting to figure out ways to adapt given our current circumstances. Day by day we're getting by in hopes of returning to our normal lives, for lack of a better term I guess you could say. However, there are some celebrities who won't be able to necessarily return to their normal lives, as it's quite possible this was the year their career went down the drain. Today on InformOverload, we'll be counting down the top 10 celebrities that ruined their careers in 2020. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to IO. I'm your host, Bronstein, and today we're counting down a list I certainly hope I'm never on. Now I will preface with the following: if not all, the majority of people on this list may still have careers in entertainment, as I cannot predict the future. That being said, given the amount of backlash they've already received and dealt with, I'm not going to say all, but I want to say maybe 9 out of 10 on this list, well, things aren't looking so great down the road. Before we go any further though, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Top 10 Central. It is the best reaction channel on YouTube, so come check it out, come say hi. You guys know you gotta smash that like button on that channel. You already know what's good. Let us know in the comments down below you came from IO, and I may even shout you out. Who knows? Who knows? Only one way to find out. As always, guys, stick around to the very end for some comment replies. I always feature, but for now, let's get right into this one. Starting us off at number 10, Chris D'Elia. As we know, Chris has been accused by multiple women for inappropriate behavior. Most of the women making the accusations claim to be about 16 or 17 years old, when Chris, knowing they were minors, asked for explicit photos or suggested they hang out. Other accusations, although they involved women of legal age, claim Chris took advantage of them while intoxicated, and another accusation claims he exposed himself to an unsuspecting employee at a hotel. Now, you guys may get mad that I'm saying this, but given the circumstances and my job to report in an unbiased way, well, I can't confirm or deny the accusations. That being said, Chris was recently just dropped by his agency, Creative Artists, his comedy gig booking agency, William Morris, and his management, 3 Arts Entertainment, as recently as a few days back. And considering how those are some of the biggest agencies in Hollywood, well, I don't know. At number 9, Harley Sawyer. The 35-year-old actor was just recently fired from the CW production of The Flash after old tweets resurfaced. A couple of the tweets that led to the actor's termination reads as follows: "The only thing keeping me from doing mildly racist tweets is the knowledge that Al Sharpton would never stop complaining about me, and enjoyed a secret boob viewing at an audition today." Following the resurfaced tweets, a joint statement from the CW, Warner Brothers, as well as Berlanti Productions and one of the show's executive producers read, "Harley Sawyer will not be returning for season 7 of The Flash. In regards to Mr. Sawyer's posts on social media, we do not tolerate derogatory remarks that target any race, ethnicity, national origin, gender, or sexual orientation. Such remarks are anti-ethical to our values and policies, which strive and evolve to promote a safe, inclusive, and productive environment for our workforce." Sawyer then posted an apology to his Instagram page where he thanks those holding him accountable and apologizes for his mistakes he's made in the past. Personally, as you guys know, I'm all about growing and learning from mistakes. Hopefully Sawyer has changed and grown as a person, as I'd like to believe he has. That being said, unfortunately in the entertainment industry, it's tough to come back from something like this when you're not already an A-lister. At number 8, Shane Dawson. Now you guys could argue he's not a celebrity, but let's be real, if you've got 20 million plus subscribers on YouTube, you're a celebrity. Which is why we got another YouTuber with 20 million plus on here, but we'll talk about that later. Enough people know who the guy is that to classify him as just a YouTuber really doesn't do him any justice. And considering how he's been trending almost consistently for a week, unfortunately for all the wrong reasons, well, unless he has an incredibly strong fan base that will support him no matter what, I'm not sure Shane can bounce back. Aside from the blackface backlash he's received, as well as defending Jeffree Star time and time again, Shane was also exposed recently for saying a 6-year-old looks sexy in an old podcast. Now, I don't want to take his words out of context, as he was joking when he said it, and even tweeted about how it was being taken out of context. However, there was also the clip of Shane mocking to pleasure himself while looking at a picture of then 11-year-old Willow Smith, telling her to whip her hair back and forth. The video caught the attention of Jada and Jaden, Willow's mother and brother, who publicly called out Dawson. Shane has since posted a video about taking accountability for his past actions, but I mean, it seems to be one thing after another with Shane, so I'm really not sure how he's gonna bounce back from this one. Number 7, Vanessa Hudgens. She was on an Instagram live and she said some pretty stupid things along the lines of, yeah, the virus is bad, but do we really need to start shutting everything down? I mean, people are gonna die, but like, inevitable? Now, I don't want to put words in her mouth, as I was simply paraphrasing what she said. Here's what she actually said. I quote, "It's a virus. I get it. Like, I respect it. But at the same time, like, even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are gonna die, which is terrible, but like, inevitable?" Not too far from what I said. To no surprise, after receiving the amount of backlash she did, Hudgens would apologize, tweeting out a Notes app apology. So standard nowadays. She said her words were insensitive and apparently made her realize the significance her words have. At least, that's what she said. Now, truth be told, after High School Musical, unfortunately, her career did not take off like Zac Efron's, but she still managed to get some work. After this, I'm not so sure people will want to attach her to their projects, but again, we just have to wait and see. Number 6, Ed Brown, also known as Big Ed. You guys always get mad when I say he's a celebrity, but the reality is, he's got just under 500,000 followers on Instagram, he's verified, he's been featured on Entertainment Tonight, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. Clearly celebrity status. However, it seems his 15 minutes came and went fairly quickly, and unfortunately, it seemed the reason he got famous in the first place was simply because people couldn't believe he acted the way he did. It was so outrageous that, like a train wreck, you couldn't look away. Unfortunately, his behavior, although entertaining to some, was incredibly off-putting to others. And due to the fact that Ed has appeared to struggle to transition his fame past that 15-minute mark, well, I'm not so sure who's gonna want to work with a guy whose brand was pretty much made by doing ridiculous things to his hair and being incredibly nasty to his ex-fiancée Rose. And of course, there's also the accusations of grooming, which appears to still be an ongoing case, as I couldn't find any new information on it. But in regards to Ed, seems just like he kinda came and went. At number 5, Lea Michele. It's no doubt the woman is talented, she could sing and she could act, but it seems after countless colleagues, former castmates, or just people in the entertainment industry in general came out to speak about their negative experiences with Michele, well, as I said before, I'm not sure anyone would want to work with her. Of course, she's got a big name, and unlike Sawyer, who we spoke about earlier on this list, I think Lea is closer to being an A-lister. Well, she was on her way, especially after starring in Glee and doing all the Broadway shows she was able to book. But after all the stories going against her started coming out, from her simply being called a racist to allegedly referring to background actors as cockroaches, well, I don't know why anybody would want that energy on their set. That being said, she's also pregnant, so don't be all that surprised if she lays low for a bit, has the child, and then reappears on our screens when everyone moves on from the hate. I can't say for sure her career is over, but it'll be interesting to see how things play out. At number 4, J.K. Rowling. After making some comments about transgender women and men, she would face a good amount of backlash. The initial comment while posting an article read, I quote, "People who menstruate." I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Wumbin? Wimpund? Womund? Creating a more equal post-COVID-19 world for people who menstruate. Immediately she received backlash with people calling her out for being transphobic, or at the very least making such insensitive comments. A few days later, Rowling would double down on her stance, even after being called out by the likes of Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, among others. In a blog post to her website, Rowling stood by her comments and clarified her stance, while also admitting publicly that she is a victim of both sexual and domestic abuse. Some have tried to defend her actions, claiming that she didn't necessarily intend to offend anyone by her words, while others have claimed they won't be supporting her at all. Again, someone at her level, it's tough to say her career is officially over, but this may be the beginning of the end, as it seems her best days are way behind her. And all the Harry Potter fans would be mad about that one, but hey, I never read the books in the first place, so I really don't care. Number 3, Jenna Marbles. Now, I wasn't sure if I wanted to put her on here, but honestly, I think it was only right. The YouTuber who has consistently made videos for the past decade, becoming one of the first YouTubers to really make a name for herself, has decided to call it quits. Now, some think she's going to eventually return, others think she's off the platform for good. Unlike everyone else on here, it seems Jenna kinda cancelled herself. Although she was being called out for some of her previous skits, which included blackface, Jenna went a step further, posting her own video where she actually brought to light other potentially offensive or racist videos she's done in the past. And after explaining that her intention was never to upset, offend, or hurt anyone, ever, which is why she took them off her channel, she still wanted to hold herself accountable. The crazy thing about this one is that she was called out, made a video holding herself accountable, and decided to quit, and then the internet was upset that she was bullied off the platform. But this cancel culture bullshit was the reason she quit in the first place, so I'm not sure why the people of the internet are mad at themselves. Fair to say those complaining she's gone likely weren't the ones calling her out in the first place, although I feel some of them were the same people. Still, this whole cancel culture thing, it's just really gotta go, guys. In regards to Jenna, I say her career's over because all she did was YouTube as far as I was concerned, so now the fact that she's quit, technically her career as a YouTuber is over. Hopefully it makes sense. You guys might get mad, but yeah. At number 2, Jimmy Kimmel. Is this one a bit of a stretch? Sure it is. Did Kimmel's show get cancelled? Nope. With that being said, Kimmel is now on a summer vacation that he says has been planned for a while. For those of you that don't know what happened, Kimmel was called out for some past sketches that saw him in blackface, as well as a comedic Christmas album where, while impersonating Snoop Dogg, Kimmel used the N-word multiple times. After apologizing for his past actions and remarks, Kimmel went on to say, I quote, "Looking back, many of these sketches are embarrassing, and it is frustrating that these thoughtless moments have become a weapon used by some to diminish my criticisms of social and other injustices. I believe that I have evolved and matured over the last 20 plus years, and I hope that is evident to anyone who watches my show. I know this will not be the last that I hear of this, and that it will be used against me to try to quiet me. I love this country too much to allow that. I won't be bullied into silence by those who feign outrage to advance their oppression and genuinely racist agendas." Now, it's fair to say Kimmel was called out by Fox, who leaked the Christmas tape, and it's no secret Kimmel has spoken out against President Trump time and time again. So that's likely who he's referring to. In regards to his show, well, as I said before, he's on vacation and is due back in September. I personally don't think he'll be cancelled as in the show, but we just need to see how the general public reacts when September rolls around. If his ratings are significantly down, well, then maybe looking for a new host is all I'm gonna say. Number 1, Amber Heard. In May of 2016, Heard would officially file for divorce from Johnny Depp. 4 years later, and the former couple are still making headlines. If you follow the entire relationship, then you likely know more about it than I do, but if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll try to summarize it. Amber Heard accused Johnny Depp of abuse. Johnny Depp's career was affected to the point that he was being dropped from projects, and then Depp decided to sue Heard for damages. An audio tape was recently leaked in which Heard admitted to hitting Depp, and now it seems we gotta wait and see how this one plays out. There were rumors Heard was replaced in Aquaman 2, but that hasn't officially happened as of this recording. However, don't be surprised if you don't see Heard in any big productions over the next few years. And that does it for the top 10 celebrities that ruined their careers in 2020. As always, let me know your thoughts below. Like I said, for some people on this list, we gotta wait and see how it plays out, but I got a feeling, well, for most of them, it's not gonna play out so well. For now, let's plot some comments from the video, top 10 celebrities that struggle with anxiety. Teddy said, people always make jokes about anxiety, it's not fun. I see a lot of jokes. I just think I find maybe it's like a defense mechanism. It's a way people cope with their anxiety is they make fun of it. I find that I do that a lot. I mean, I also, I have a lot of self-deprecating humor. I don't know, it's just how people cope with certain things. Karen Rose said, I don't like to talk about my depression/anxiety issues or any other of my issues. I don't want to be pitied, etc. So yeah, I get that. I've been there before too, where it's like you don't want to be pitied, but at the same time, it's like no different than having a physical injury. So you gotta be honest with whoever it is that you gotta be honest with, and just hope that they don't pity you, but instead just understand, big difference. Syndrome said, I quote, quoting me, wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. This. Yeah, I don't know, there's just certain things that I don't think anybody should ever have to go through, even if you are my worst enemy. I mean, I don't have any enemies, I'm a pretty neutral guy, so yeah. Anyways guys, that's it for this one. I've been your host, Bronstein. You've been watching I.O., and we'll see you in the next one. Check out Top 10 Central.